moving on to the next exercise 6.3. Find the maximum and minimum values if any. Okay, so இப்போ maximum minimum value previous videosல examples பாருங்க, அதை பார்த்தா உங்களுக்கு இன்னும் better understanding இருக்கும். But I'll revise what to do here. So என்னென்ன steps எல்லாம் பண்ண போறோம்? First step, we are going to find f of x, what this is. Then I'm going to equate f dash of, second step வந்து I'm going to equate the f dash of x to 0 to find the critical point. Okay, I'm going to find what my x is. Okay, then third step I'm going to find my f double dash of x to find whether it's a maximum value or a minimum value. Okay, so f double dash of x கண்டுபிடிக்க போறேன். Then I'm going to substitute the critical point to f of x and find the maximum or minimum value. So this is one method. Okay, so this is one method. I'll solve in two different methods for you. So எது உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கோ example, you can try that. Okay, so now first method, this is going to be method 1. So method 1 la na pota என்ன ஆகும்? I have f of x equals 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3. First, when I find f dash of x, when I differentiate what is here, I have 2 comes down times 2x minus 1, and when I differentiate what is inside, I have 2x. The coefficient of x is going to be 2 into 2 plus 3 is a constant. 3 I differentiate panna, I'll get a 0. So what do I have? 4 times 2 2s are 4 times 2x minus 1. So this is my f dash of x. Now first step mudijudhu. Now second step enna, I have to equate f dash of x to 0, which means 4 times 2x minus 1 equals 0. From here, I have x equals 1 divided by 2. So this is my critical point or my turning point. ஏதோ ஒன்று இந்த இடத்துல தான் turn ஆகுது. Turning point na அர்த்தம், it is either increasing or decreasing. The value is becoming a maximum or a minimum. So I found out my critical point. இப்போ நம்ம கிடைக்க போற value maximum minimum எப்படி தெரியும்? I have to find my second derivative. So second derivative na என்ன பண்ணணும்? So f dash of x is going to be, when I multiply the 4 inside, it's going to be 8x minus 4. So f double dash of x is going to give me 8. I see that this is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, f double dash of x is greater than 0, it means the value is minimum. Correct? Why do you have such a way? Example la na vandu explain pannirken, but when you have f double dash of x, the value is going to be minimum. So this point where my critical value, see, so this point is going to be my minimum value when f double dash of x is going to be greater than 0. Idoda meaning enna? Sutti, in the C point sutti, the graph is increasing. It is going to be greater than 0. Okay, இப்போ second case la enna irukum? F double dash. I talk about the second case. If f double dash of x is less than 0, it means we are talking about the maximum value. So in that it is less than 0, whatever is around this critical point is going to be less. இப்படி கீழே இறங்குது. So f double dash less than 0 na, we are talking about the maximum point, so the curve goes down. If you are talking about f double dash greater than 0, then the value is minimum. All the values around it goes to the top. So that's the minimum value. So this is the mathematical meaning. Okay, so here we have found that the value is minimum, but I need to find out what the minimum value is. So the minimum value at x equals half. We have found out the critical point, correct? So in the critical point enna, x equals half. So in the point la, what is my minimum value? So I need to substitute in f of x. So f of half is going to be, when I substitute, 2 times half minus 1 the whole square plus 3. F of x enna from here, 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3. So when I substitute, this gets cancelled. 1 minus 1 is going to be 0 plus 3. So I have my minimum value is 3 at x equals half, and there is no maximum value for this question. ஏன்னா இந்த இடத்துல f double dash of x is greater than 0, which means you do not have a maximum value. Minimum value மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. So this is method 1. இப்போ method 2 நான் என்ன பண்ண போறேன்? My equation I'll write it again. So f of x equals 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3. So you can do it in this method also. இப்போ இங்க என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? I know that 2x minus 1 the whole square is going to be greater than or equal to 0. Correct? Any square term is going to be greater than or equal to 0. So I see that I need a plus 3. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add plus 3 on both sides. So 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3 greater than or equal to 0 plus 3. This does not change the inequality. Inequality change agadu. So what do I see from here? My f of x, this left hand side la irukradena f of x is greater than or equal to 3. Which means என்னோட value 3 length, if this is my point 3, whatever values I have greater than 3. Okay, so this is going to be the solution. So the minimum value is going to be 3. மத்த எல்லா valuesமே 3 விட ஜாஸ்தியா தான இருக்கு. So what is my minimum value? Minimum value of f of x is going to be 3. And where is the value going to be 3? When I substitute, if I know that f of x or the minimum value is going to be 3. So when I substitute that in the question, I have 2x minus 1 the whole square plus 3 equals 3. I need to find for which value. So 3 cancel achna, I have 2x minus 1 equals 0, x equals half. So at x equals half, my minimum value is going to be 3. So this is my method 2. So in the இடத்துல I have taught you two different methods. ஒன்னு வந்து first derivative use பண்ணி, இன்னொன்னு directா logic use பண்ணி. This logic method will be useful when you are dealing with mod function. இப்போ mod of x plus 3 இந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருந்ததுன்னா இந்த logic method தான் யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும் because first derivative கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியாது. log functionக்கு first derivative பண்ண முடியாது. Okay? So இப்போ you can use method 1 or method 2 whichever is comfortable for you. Method 2. Method 2 mostly நம்ம mod functionக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். Method 1 இந்த மாதிரி quadratic இல்ல polynomial functionக்கு யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Okay? Clear? So let me solve question number 2, subsection 2. Okay? So I have subsection 2, f of x equals 9x square plus 12x plus 2. Now I'm going to use the first derivative method. So I have f dash of x is going to be 18x plus 12. I can take 4 common or 3 common. So 3 times 6x plus 3 4s are. So I can also take 6 outside. Yeah? So this 6a common. So when I take 6 outside from this, 6 times 3x plus 2. Now what is my next step? F of x equals 0. When I do that, I have 6 times 3x plus 2 equals 0. So from this, 3x plus 2 equals 0, x equals minus 2 divided by 3. So I have found out my critical point. If a value maximum or minimum, I have to find the second derivative. So I have f dash of x equals 18x plus 12. So f double dash of x is going to be 18, which is greater than 0, which means value is minimum. Greater than 0 now we are talking about the minimum value and there is no maximum value. Adi enna value? So I have x equals minus 2 by 3. When I substitute that in f of x, which is 9x square plus 12x plus 2, I have f of minus 2 by 3 is going to be 9 times minus 2 by 3 the whole square plus 12 times minus 2 by 3 plus 2. Be careful with the sign. So I have 9 times 2 2s are 4 divided by 9 plus in that I can cancel. So I have 3 4s are. Now when I multiply 4 into 2, I have minus 8 plus 2. In Q, the 9 and the 9 gets cancelled. So what do I have? 4 plus 2 is 6 minus 8, which is going to be minus 2. So this is my minimum value. So final answer eppadi edano? Minimum value is minus 2 at x equals minus 2 divided by 3. Okay? Punjada? Simple? Now, subsection 3. f of x equals minus x minus 1 the whole square plus 10. So third subsection, f of x equals minus x minus 1 the whole square plus 10. First derivative kandupidikka poren. So I already have a minus. So minus the 2 comes down. The derivative is going to be x minus 1 to the power 1. And what is the function inside x minus 1? Other derivate panna, differentiate panna, I'll get 1 plus 0. Okay, so what is this going to be? Minus 2 times x minus 1. Next step, equate f dash of x to 0. So I have minus 2 times x minus 1 equals 0. So I have x equals 1. So this is my critical point or the turning point. Now maximum or minimum, I have to find f double dash. So I have f dash of x equals minus 2x plus 2. F double dash of x equals minus 2. This is less than 0. So the value is maximum. F double dash of x is going to be less than 0 now, the value is going to be maximum. Okay? And what is the value going to be at x equals 1? I have f of x equals minus x minus 1 the whole square plus 10. When I substitute the value, I have minus 1 minus 1 the whole square plus 10, which is going to be 10. So final answer enna? Maximum value is 10 at x equals 1. Okay? இப்போ இதை நம்ம second methodல போட்டா எப்படி இருக்கும்? I'll solve it in that way also. So second method, question and I'll write my question first. So f of x equals minus of x minus 1 the whole square plus 10. இங்கே இருக்கு. So I know that x minus 1 the whole square term is going to be greater than or equal to 0. So this is my square term. If I have a minus in the question, so when I multiply by minus on both sides, x minus 1 the whole square, minus ala multiply panna, you have to know that the inequality reverses. Correct? Minus ala multiply panna, the inequality reverses. This linear inequality chapter la nama paathirkom. Now, I need a plus 10. So I need to add plus 10. So I have minus x minus 1 the whole square plus 10 is less than or equal to 0. So what do I have? This is my f of x is going to be, sorry, I have to add a 10. Yeah? So this is going to be less than or equal to 10. So what do I know in the number line? 10 inga irukka podhu. My function is all going to be to the left of 10. So this is going to be my maximum value. புரிஞ்சுதா? இது வந்து லாஜிக்கலா பார்த்தா it is going to be my maximum value. இந்த இடத்துல second derivative test வெச்சு போட்டோம். But here according to logic, f of x is less than 10. So f of x is going to take all the values which are less than 10. So what is the maximum value? It is going to be 10. So for what value of x? So for what value of x maximum value is 10. So you need to find that out. So if f of x or the maximum value 10 in தெரிஞ்சு போச்சு. So when I equate, I have minus of x minus 1 the whole square plus 10 equals 10. This gets cancelled. So I have x minus 1 the whole square is going to be 0. I have x equals 1. So maximum value is going to be at x equals 1. Okay? Rendu methodum புரிஞ்சுதா? So whichever method you want, you can use that. In the இடத்துல second method is mostly useful when you have mod functions. Okay? Always remember that. In the mari mod function இருந்தா it is useful. Now, fourth, I'll write the question. f of x or g of x கொடுத்திருக்கு. It's okay. x cube plus 1. So first step, first derivative. So f dash of x is going to be 3x square plus 0. So the next step is going to be equating f dash of x to 0, which means I have 3x square equals 0, x equals 0. So this is my critical point. Now I have to find my second derivative. So f double dash of x is going to be 6x. And when I substitute the value, f double dash of 0 is going to be 6 times 0, which is equal to 0. So the second derivative test fails. So, இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? You have to find out another method to do this. So, I'll use my first derivative method. அது என்ன மெத்தட்னு ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? I'll revise. So, first derivative method என்ன பண்ண போறோம்? I have my f dash of x to be 3x square. Okay? So, I got my value of x to be 0. I have to take values very, very close to 0. Basically, I'm going to take 0 minus 0.1 and 0 plus 0.1. இது ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? இது என்ன மெத்தட்ல நம்ம போடுவோம்? My critical value, this is going to be c. So I'm going to take some value very, very close to my critical value. c minus h and c plus h. So left hand side லையும் right hand side லையும் எப்படி behave பண்ணுதுன்னு பார்க்க போறோம். My f dash of x is going to be 3x square. So when I substitute two values, when x is equal to minus 0.1 and x equals plus 0.1, I see that it is going to be x square. So even if I substitute a negative value, so I see that here the f dash of x is going to be greater than 0 and f dash of x is going to be greater than 0. இப்போ left hand side la f dash of x is less than 0 னு வந்தாதா I can say that the f dash of x is less than 0 around 0 and greater than 0 on the left. அப்ப இது என்னது? This is going to be my minimum value. But here I see that it is going to be greater than 0 on both sides. So basically எனக்கு ஒரு point 0 இருக்கு. 0க்கு left hand sideல the value is increasing. So the value is increasing. 0க்கு right hand sideல the value is still increasing. It is not decreasing. If the decrease ஆச்சுனா தான I can call this point the maximum. It is not getting decreased. So this is not the case, which means we do not have a maximum or a minimum value. So neither maximum nor minimum. Okay, so this function does not have a minimum and a maximum value. Okay, ரெண்டுமே கிடையாது. Clear?